To get into the holiday spirit, I decided to redesign the 9 reindeer as fantasy reindeer. Who asked for this? Starting with Rudolph. Obviously, the most noteworthy aspect about Rudolph is his glowing nose, so I really wanted to go off of that and incorporate it into his entire design, rather than just randomly on his nose. I thought a candle would be very fitting, though I wish I had pushed the candle inspiration a little further. I hadn't yet found my particular groove, but I still really like how he turned out. Anyways, I gave him a very proud stance, lifting his nose into the air, because yes, it's still going to be glowing. I made his fur very flame reminiscent. I wanted him to be entirely glowing, not just his nose, though his nose is the brightest. Like a candle, I wanted him to illuminate the area all around him, not just what was right in front of him. I also thought he would have an almost warming effect, that way anyone who entered his light's radius would be all cozy and feel an essence of safety, which also helps everyone remain sleeping when they land on their roofs. I also put these candles on his antlers. I don't really know why. Oh my god. I don't really know why, I just thought it would be cool, I guess, but I thought that maybe it would provide a little bit more light, and yes, they are part of him. Don't ask me how, I have no idea. His fur was looking a little bit boring, so of course my sister gently suggested that I add these swirly durlies to him, so of course I did. I made it so when the wax melts and falls off, it floats and glows behind him, leaving a trail of light. Needless to say, he's not very good at hide and seek, which is probably what he got bullied for. But for what you were once bullied for may just become your greatest strength, and isn't that what Rudolph is all about? Comet was the one who sparked the idea to redraw all the reindeer. I really wanted to do the night sky type theme, you know, cause Comet. I wanted them to be more mysterious and elegant, which is definitely one of my favorite character archetypes. I gave them these smoke-like antlers, cause you know, shooting stars or comets are visible at night because they're a rock on fire, so smoke. I also decorated them with this star jewelry. I think it was a nice touch. And I gave him a big poofy mane and tail, which, like Rudolph, emits a soft glow, but it's definitely not as bright. Like the night sky, I wanted their color palette to be very dark with lots of lighting, which sounds like a paradox, but you get what I'm talking about. Random side note, I tried to keep them from being gendered aside from Rudolph because he's a little more iconic, but I wanted it to be up to the viewer to decide their genders. I know there was a silly little debate going on a while ago talking about how both genders of reindeer actually have antlers, but males lose them in the fall and females lose them in the spring, so the reindeer who pull the sleigh have to be female because it's winter. But, like, that's entirely dependent on where in the world you are. But most importantly, they're native to the North Pole. It's always winter there. So I think they're a special breed of reindeer, native to the North Pole, either don't lose their antlers, or lose them in, like, midsummer, so like June through July, because it's their off season, you know? So antlers don't matter. Anyways, professional rambling over. I wanted Donner to be very big and bulky, almost daunting, because, you know, Donner, even though they are definitely the gentle giant, just the big protector of the group. I inspired them off of a nutcracker, whom for whatever reason my dyslexic brain keeps calling graham cracker, but whatever, it's totally fine, I'm not losing my mind. They definitely got the fluffiest coat because the classic Nutcracker has the white hair with the dark mustache, so that's exactly what I did. Though rather than giving a reindeer a random mustache, I opted to instead just make their muzzle very dark. But I still think it works. Although I wanted to give them like an actual coat, I'm definitely not just going to throw a coat on a reindeer. That would be really weird. So instead of that, I gave them these tassel jewelry and some swirly sparklies on them. As for their coat, I opted to incorporate a red hue to their fur, lightly resembling an actual coat. I also added some swirls to their antlers and some wood grain for more measure because I can't escape it. Anyway. Though it's a little hard to see, I added some little color variants into their hair just to break it up a little bit, and some sparkles. Obviously, when you hear the name Cupid, your first thought is Valentine's Day and the Roman god of love and desire and la-di-da-di-da. Not wanting to fight that instinct, instead I worked off of it. So what does Christmas and Valentine's Day have in common, you should be asking? Well, my fine fellow, it's chocolate. The answer is chocolate. And what's more Christmassy than simple chocolate? It's hot chocolate. I inspired them off of hot chocolate. There is a lot of crazy recipes for interesting looking hot chocolate, so it definitely was easy to find inspiration for their design, but I wanted to maintain the classic hot chocolate feeling rather than lots of this colorful stuff. It doesn't really read as Christmassy to me. I gave them very twisty, curly hair because you gotta have that whipped cream. And yes, before you ask, their antlers are cinnamon sticks. Definitely my favorite part. I also saw a lot of them having candy canes dipped in them, so I made those patterns on their tail and legs. They're a little dark, but I made the eyes little chocolates, like classic chocolates, I mean. I also gave them white splatter patterns all over their body. They're roasted marshmallows. I freaking love it so much, it's so cute. As I began shading their hair, I was like, this is a little too boring. So I added little chocolate shavings to it. I think they're so freaking cute. I love them so much. They are definitely one of my favorites. Them and Vixen, which you'll have to stay for part 2, which will be out very soon. Also, if you look up reindeer reference photos, they don't tend to move much. It's a lot of this. So instead, I was using horses as references to give them more dynamic poses. Just thought I'd say that, just in case it was reading too much of horse rather than reindeer. That's definitely why. Lastly, I sprinkled on some cocoa powder and a mix of different browns into their fur, and they're finished. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had happy holidays and a happy new year. Part 2 will be up very shortly, I promise. I literally got sick the day before I was going to record and just completely lost my voice. I still have a cough, but I wanted to get this out. Better to be late than wait till next year or whenever. Anyways, let me know what you thought and what you'd like to see from me next. And of course, fair farn, everybody!